Hello again, this is Robert Schein, Managing Director and Partner with Blanke Schein Wealth Management. Well, today is another historic day. April 20th, we had the oil markets completely just explode, implode, blow up, down 300% on the May contract for crude oil. And we've obviously been talking about oil for the last couple of weeks and months as we've been doing our daily updates with you guys. But today was the day. I think some institution, we will find out in the next week or so, or trading vehicle or bank or hedge fund, something blew up today. We don't know, obviously, because it's happening at this moment, but essentially it's due to demand destruction around the world, globally speaking. Obviously we had 2-3 weeks ago, Saudi Arabia and Russia sort of throw another sort of kerosene on the fire as we were going through the coronavirus, and the markets were in a major pullback. Actually, that's when the markets went down by over 20+%. And then they threw this in the mix, saying we're going to agree to disagree at OPEC. And so they both went their separate ways and continued to flood the market with oil. Well, today is obviously last week we reported about this, we discussed this. They agreed for a truce, but it might be too little too late. And we're seeing that play out in the oil market. So it's going to continue to be a highlight, but ultimately something big happen today as it relates to potential trader, hedge fund, bank, institution, private equity, or even just one of these oil companies that was extremely levered and it just has way too much oil in the WTI crude May contract. So that's number one, first and foremost, historic day in oil. Obviously tomorrow we'll tune in to find out more about that. Phase two. So the markets are looking at phase two this week. What I'm referring to is that Congress should come together later this week and pass another $310 billion in stimulus in the PPP Paycheck Protection Program. Why that's important is because as they're asking every one of us to basically, it's an induced coma or stay at home and shut down the entire business of the United States, they're also going to give us the paychecks or people out there paychecks to ultimately who need them in the service industry to basically stay home, but also get the small business loans as well. You're seeing a lot of good news about that. Money's actually getting into the system. And again, that's the financial stopgap or bridging this period of time where we're going to take a big hit to earnings, big hit to GDP. So at least we have Congress working together, as I've said before. That's their biggest hope, and it looks like they are going to. Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, as well as Nancy Pelosi, have hinted that in the next 48 hours, we should have at least agreed to terms on phase four. That's another positive for this week, so keep an eye on that. And then finally, a positive story, 70 plus vaccines around the world are now being looked at and in the works. So not just the United States, what we're doing here in our medical community and the bio and technical and all the medical pharmaceutical world all coming together. It's absolutely incredible. So I think we're coming at this at a huge, rapid pace. I think everyone's staying at home is bending the curve. So we got a lot of positive indications on that. Let's just keep doing what you're doing, and hearts and prayers to anyone who's been affected by this. We're here for you. And then thoughts and prayers for all those in the front lines fighting the good fight. Be well.